Hey y'all, it's your boy Post. If y'all could hit that like button to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, that would be great. Okay, so here we go. We're about a month from the 2020 election now. Some crazy shit has happened this year. COVID, Tiger King, but the most crazy of all, Joe Biden winning the 2020 Democratic primary. The party of diversity and progress chose the 77-year-old rich white guy who has been in Washington for almost 50 years. Seriously, how did it come to this? The 2020 Democratic field was a lineup of the best. Spartacus, Ned's Declassified, RoboCop, billionaire from New York who is short instead of orange, and Polka plan for everything except for getting elected. All of these up-and-coming Democrats lost to this guy. And the only one who really had a real excuse for losing is Bernie. You know, the DNC rigged the primary in Hillary's favor in 2016, looking at you, Debbie, and they also rigged it in Joe's favor in 2020. You know, love the guy or hate the guy, Bernie Sanders is the best fundraiser the Democratic primary has seen since Barry. And Bernie Sanders connects with voters in a way that no politician on the left has been capable of since Barry. And Bernie Sanders excites the young voters of the Democratic Party, you know, that key demographic that they need to win their elections. Something that a politician on the left hasn't done since, you get it. And despite all of that, the party is too corrupt and gutless to put Bernie on the ticket, even though he would have won the election for Hillary in 2016. How did they all lose to Basement Boy? Joe won for 3 reasons. 1, Obama. 2, he was everyone's second choice. And 3, Joe is a transitional figurehead, not a real leader. Now, this video isn't meant to tear into President Obama. That'll be for a later video. But somehow we got to a point in society where everything Obama touches turns to gold. And I get it, he's cool. I get it, first black president, transformational moment for the country, which fought a civil war to end slavery, cool. It makes sense to me that Obama is more of a cultural figure than a political one in his post-presidency. His policies were pretty bad overall. Lying to Americans about being a unifying force, the Iran deal, ISIS, empowering China, his famous red line with Syria, I could go on all day. And most of the achievements Obama hung his political legacy on have been more or less wiped away by the Trump administration. However, Barack Obama as a cultural figure is the most influential person in the United States. He maintains his popularity and boasts of the likable features that got him elected and re-elected, while also being free of the shackles of the Oval Office that previously prevented him from speaking out on certain issues. Joe Biden politically benefits from being Obama's VP every day of his life. The left longs for the days of Barack Obama, and after Hillary's loss in 2016, Joe Biden was the natural heir to the Democratic nomination. And old Joe was there for Barry when Barry needed him most. And to Democrats, that's good enough. However, something changed in the Democratic Party after Hillary's crushing and historic loss. The Democratic Party faced a reckoning. Led by Bernie Sanders and AOC plus 3, it was the far left's contention that the election was lost due to moderation. The Democratic Party looked itself in the mirror and decided that it wasn't crazy enough. And what was the impact of this progressive and racially representative reckoning within the Democratic Party? We got a culturally and ethnically diverse field of 2020 candidates with ideas and policy proposals popular with middle America, the voters that Democrats ignored in 2016 and paid the price for doing that. The Democrats stepped up and responded to the American people's calls for unification and moderation. Just kidding. We got 6 white people, and not this kind of white, this kind of white. 4 of whom in their 70s, all of whom are millionaires except for Bloomberg, who is a billionaire with a B, and a combined, let's do the math, 112 years in a nationally influential political office. But post, you might say, the Democrats, just because they're white doesn't mean their ideas don't connect with voters. Okay, so what were these supposedly mainstream and popular policy ideas? We need free healthcare for illegal immigrants. We need open borders. We need to pack the Supreme Court with our justices. Donald Trump is a very bad man who is very orange and very bad. And since Middle America voted this guy into office, we're going to ignore their pleas for economic support and instead double down on the cultural needs of coastal voters. You know, I thought the Democrats prioritized representation and progressive thinking. What is ethnically diverse about this? And if this country is in such a terrible hole, how are 112 years of failed policy progressive? These failed candidates could not muster enough votes to beat this, which says a lot about their policy proposals, likability, and their future political prospects going forward. Joe Biden is not ethnically diverse or politically progressive. He's old, white, and rich. Basement Boy built up a lot of goodwill with Democratic voters during the Obama presidency. Add the tragic death of his son Beau, Hillary Clinton's embarrassing defeat in 2016, and Trump's manic strategy of tweet at all costs, Biden was set up perfectly to be everyone's second choice. And in a whitewashed primary field that doesn't represent the needs and wants of the energized base of the Democratic Party, Joe Biden's halo gave him the push he needed to win. No one could agree on where the party should go. So let's go with the old white guy we know and love. Even though he hides in a basement and can't remember where he is half the time. And this introduces the darkest reason the Democrats chose Joe Biden as their nominee. He is the vehicle with which the far left is going to govern this country. Joe Biden is so old and senile, he won't be the one governing. Kamala Harris will be. He won't be a check on the power of the far left. Oh no, quite the opposite. The far left recognizes that their political leadership, the squad, is fairly unpopular to most Americans. Having Joe as a symbol of normalcy, calmness, and implicit, or actually explicit, ineptitude as the figurehead of the progressive movement distracts voters from the reality of the far left agenda. Joe also has the added benefit of attracting, or at least not outright ostracizing, white working class voters, that demographic that handed President Trump the victory in 2016. His principles fly in the face of the ethos of the left. The far left is a radical movement attempting to dismantle the democratic systems that keep the United States from descending into tyranny and anarchy. Biden has even admitted he is a transitional figure, and he might not even run for a second term if elected president due to his age and unpopularity with the far left. He is the metaphorical Trojan horse, a vessel whose true occupants are these people. And with choosing Kamala Harris as his vice president, Joe Biden has essentially given the radical left the keys to the Democratic Party and the ability to govern as they please, should they win this election and future elections to come. There's no secret here. To their credit, the Democrats and the far left have done a wonderful job portraying Joe Biden as a unifying force, when in reality, the far left is using him as a puppet in their scheme to push their radical agenda. Made all the more effective by President Trump's abrasive demeanor and polarizing language. In sum, Joe Biden became the Democratic nominee because he caved to the far left and was everyone's second choice in a weak Democratic primary field that wishes Barry was still the president. Add the fact that the infirm former vice president nominated a radical leftist to be his vice president, and has assured the far left of his transitional status, we are left with the one, the only, Basement Biden. Hey guys, thanks for watching my first video. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be making regular videos like this, so if you enjoyed, please think about subscribing and liking the video. Post out.